Hi everyone, I Mutongopal Singh. Welcome to this video channel Science Class 8. In the previous video class, we studied chapter number 11, Force and Pressure. Today, let's study chapter number 2, Microorganisms, Friend and Foe. It is in textbook page number 17. Let's see. Chapter number 2, Microorganisms, Friend and Foe. Let's see, what are microorganisms? So, in order to explain about this term microorganisms, say you have seen many plants and animals around your surrounding. So, all are coexisting and sharing air, water, and soil available in the biosphere. So, some have very tiny structures and cannot be seen with the naked eyes. Such organisms that may be seen only with the help of a microscope are called the microorganisms, or simply known as microbes. So microbes or microorganisms, different types of microorganisms we will study in this chapter. So you know microorganisms or microbes. So first let's see microorganisms. Activity 2.1, collect some moist soil from the field in a beaker and add water to it. After the soil particles have settled down, observe a drop of water from the beaker under a microscope. What do you see? When you do this activity, you will see tiny structures under the microscope. And activity 2.2, take a few drops of water from a pond, spread on a glass slide and observe through a microscope. Here also, the water you have to take from the pond, few drops of water, and you have to spread in a glass slide and observe it under a microscope. And here also you can see tiny structures. So from this activity, we know that microorganisms are present anywhere, maybe in soil, water, air, or even inside our bodies, and even in other plants and animals also. And some of them exist freely in nature, and while some other grow on other organisms. So microorganisms can be categorized, or microorganisms are classified into 4 major groups. They are bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and some algae. So some of these common microorganisms are shown in figure number 2.1 to 2.4 in the next page. Here let's see virus. Viruses are also microscopic but are different from other microorganisms. They, however, reproduce only inside the cells of the host organism, which may be a bacterium, plant, or animal. Some of the viruses are shown in figure 2.5. Common ailments like cold, influenza, there is flu, and most coughs are caused by virus. Serious diseases like polio and chickenpox are also caused by viruses. Diseases like dysentery and malaria are caused by protozoa, that is protozoans, whereas typhoid and tuberculosis, we commonly known as TB, are bacterial diseases. So these things we have learned from class 6 and 7. So here I will explain about the virus. So virus can only multiply inside the cells of the host organism. The host organisms of virus include bacteria, various plants and animals, and even the man. So they can cause many diseases to the host organism. So in the next page, let's see. Some pictures are here in the textbook page number 18, figure number 2.1. Here bacteria are shown here, bacteria. And in figure number 2.2, algae. Here Chlamydomonas is shown here, and this is the Spirogyra, and Figure number 2.3, protozoa. That means single cell microorganism, amoeba, paramecium. And figure number 2.4, fungi. Here, bread mold, penicillium, aspergillus. So we know microorganisms, some of them may be unicellular and some of them may be multicellular, having many cells. Okay, let's see. In textbook page number 19 also, structure of the virus is shown in figure number 2.5. Virus is shown here, this and this. And next, let's see, where do microorganisms live? Yes, I already told you microorganisms are present everywhere. Microorganisms may be single cell like bacteria, some algae and protozoa, or multicellular such as many algae and fungi. They live in all types of environment, ranging from ice-cold climate to hot springs and deserts to marshy lands. They are also found inside the bodies of animals, including humans. Some microorganisms grow on other organisms while others exist freely. So, from this, we know that microorganisms are present everywhere. Microorganisms and us, let's see. Microorganisms play an important role in our lives. Some of them are beneficial in many ways, whereas some others are harmful and cause diseases. Let us study about them in detail. Here, friendly microorganisms. Friendly microorganisms means microorganisms, they give beneficial for us. Let's see, microorganisms are used for various purposes. They are used in the preparation of curd, bread and cake. Microorganisms have been used for the production of alcohol since ages. Here, they are also used in cleaning up of the environment. So microorganisms are used in the cleaning up of environment. For example, organic waste like vegetable peels, remains of animals, feces, etc. These are broken down into harmless and usable substances by bacteria. And recall that bacteria are also used in the preparation of medicines. In agriculture, they are used to increase soil fertility by fixing nitrogen. So these are what about the friendly microorganisms. They give beneficial for us. So organic waste are converted into soil fertility. So this is one of the friendly microorganism. Next, making of curd and bread. Let's see. You have learned in class 7 that milk is turned into curd by bacteria. This is very common. Commonly we have seen in our everyday day-to-day life. Say here, I show that my mother added a little curd to warm milk to set curd for the next day. I wonder why. Here, this girl says he saw that her mother added a little curd to warm milk to set curd for the next day. So if we add, say, a little curd to a warm milk, then for the next day, then in order to convert, say, fresh milk to curd, then if we add a little curd to the warm milk, then initiation of the curd formation begins faster. Here, curd contains several microorganisms. Of these, the bacterium Lactobacillus promotes the formation of curd. It multiplies in milk and converts it into curd. Bacteria are also involved in the making of cheese, pickles, and many other food items. An important ingredient of, say, rava, that means suji, idlis, and baturas is curd. And can you guess why? Bacteria and yeast are also helpful for fermentation of rice, idlis, and dosa batter. So these are what about the beneficial microorganisms. The bacterium, that is Lactobacillus, that promotes formation of curd. Conversion of milk to curd that is done by lactobacillus. This is one of the bacterium. And next page, let's see. Activity 2.3. Activity 2.3, let's see. Take half kg flour, that is atta or maida, add some sugar and mix with warm water. Add a small amount of yeast powder and knead to make a soft dough. What do you observe after 2 hours? Did you find the dough rising? Here, maida with yeast powder, and it is rise, maida level will rise. Here, yeast produces rapidly and produces carbon dioxide during respiration. Bubbles of the gas fill the dough and increase its volume. This is the basis of the use of yeast in the baking industry for making breads, pastries, and cakes. These are what about the friendly microorganism. And commercial use of microorganisms, let's see. Commercial use of microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for the large-scale production of alcohol. Wine and acetic acid, that is vinegar. Yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol and wine. For this purpose, yeast is grown on natural sugars present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, crushed fruit juice, etc. So this is used, microorganisms, in the commercial use, for the commercial purpose. In activity 2.4, let's see. Take a 500 ml beaker, fill up to 3/4 with water. Dissolve 2 to 3 teaspoonfuls of sugar in it. Add half of spoon of yeast powder to the sugar. Then sugar solution. Keep it covered in a warm place for 4 to 5 hours. Now smell the solution. Can you get a smell? So in this activity, we have to take 500 ml beaker filled with 3/4 with water, and we have to dissolve 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar in it and add a half spoon of yeast powder to the sugar solution, and we have to keep it covered in a warm place for 4 to 5 hours. Now smell the solution. Can you get a smell? Yes, we will get a smell. This is the smell of alcohol, as sugar has been converted into alcohol by yeast. So this process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. So this process is called fermentation. Louis Pasteur discovered fermentation in 1857. So Louis Pasteur is one of the scientists who discovered fermentation in 1857. Next, medicinal use of microorganisms. Let's see. Whenever you fall ill, the doctor may give you some antibiotic tablets, capsules, or injections such as of penicillin. The source of these medicines is microorganisms. These medicines kill or stop the growth of the disease-causing microorganisms. Such medicines are called antibiotics. These days, a number of antibiotics are being produced from bacteria and fungi. Streptomycin, tetracycline, and erythromycin are some of the commonly known antibiotics, which are made from fungi and bacteria. The antibiotics are manufactured by growing specific microorganisms and are used to cure a variety of diseases. Antibiotics are even mixed with the feed of livestock and poultry to check microbial infection in animals. They are also used to control many plant diseases. So Here, one more scientist is also shown. Let's see. In 1929, Alexander Fleming was working on a culture of disease-causing bacteria. Suddenly, he found the spores of a little green mole in one of his culture plates. He observed that the presence of mole prevented the growth of bacteria. In fact, it also killed many of these bacteria. From this, the mole penicillin was prepared. And next, let's see. It is important to remember that antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of a qualified doctor. Also, you must complete the course prescribed by the doctor. If you take antibiotics when not needed or in wrong doses, it may make the drug less effective when you might need it in future. Also, antibiotics taken unnecessarily may kill the beneficial bacteria in the body. Antibiotics, however, are not effective against cold and flu, as these are caused by virus. So, if we fall sick, if we need to take antibiotics, so it should be taken only under the advice of a qualified doctor. And even though if we use antibiotics, we should use it with the prescribed dose. Otherwise, if we use it wrongly, then it may kill our beneficial bacteria present in our body. So we should be very careful. Next, let's see vaccine. Why are children or infants given vaccine? Let's see. Children or infants are given vaccine in order to protect from disease. When a disease-carrying microbe enters our body, the body produces antibodies to fight the invader. The body also remembers how to fight the microbe if it enters again. If dead or weakened microbes are introduced into a healthy body, the body fights and kills the invading bacteria by producing suitable antibodies. The antibodies remain in the body and we are protected from the disease-causing microbes forever. This is how a vaccine works. Several diseases, including cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, and hepatitis, can be prevented by vaccination. So, in order to prevent the cause of some disease, children or infants need vaccination. So, here Edward Jenner discovered the vaccine for smallpox in 1798. Here, let's see. In your childhood, you must have been given injections to protect yourself against several diseases. Can you prepare a list of these diseases? You may take help from your parents. It is essential to protect all children against this disease. Necessary vaccines are available in the nearby hospitals. You might have seen the advertisement on TV and newspapers regarding protection of children against polio under the Pulse Polio program. Polio drops given to children are actually a vaccine. So, a worldwide campaign against smallpox has finally led to its eradication from most parts of the world. Polio vaccines, you may heard polio vaccines are given to the polio drops, even are given to the young children. Actually, it is also a vaccine which is done in order to eradicate polio. These days, vaccines are made on a large scale from microorganisms to protect humans and other animals from several diseases. Next, increasing soil fertility. Let's see some of the microorganisms. They are quite beneficial to increase soil fertility. Let's see. Some bacteria, it is shown in figure 2.7, are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich soil with nitrogen and increase its fertility. These microbes are commonly called biological nitrogen fixers. In the next page, figure 2.7, the nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria, that is blue-green algae, is shown. Cleaning the environment. Let's see. Buzo and Pele had observed the school gardener making manure along with their friends. They collected waste of plants, vegetables and fruits from nearby houses and gardens. They put them in a pit meant for waste disposal. After some time, it decomposed and got converted to manure. Buzo and Pele wanted to know how this had happened. Actually, they are collecting waste of plants, vegetables and fruits from nearby house and garden, and they put them in a pit meant for waste disposal, and after some time it decomposed and got converted to manure. So this conversion of waste, organic waste, to usable form, that is manure. This is done by some of the microorganisms. So they are our friendly microorganism. They are our friend. Activity 2.5. Let's see. Take 2 pots and fill each pot half with soil. Mark them A and B. Put plant waste in pot A and things like polythene bags, empty glass bottles and broken plastic toys in pot B. Put the pots aside. Observe them after 3 to 4 weeks. Then in the pot A, we have to put, we already put waste things, say like polythene bags, empty glass bottles and broken plastic toys. Whereas in pot B, it is put aside. After 3 to 4 weeks, we have to observe it. What changes will be there? Then in pot A, no change will be observed. Do you find any difference in the contents of the 2 pots? If so, what is the difference? You will find that plant waste in pot A has been decomposed. How did this happen? The plant waste has been converted into manure by the action of microbes. The nutrients released in the process can be used by the plant again. Did you notice that in pot B, the polythene bags, empty glass bottles and broken toy parts did not undergo any such change? The microbes could not act on them and convert them into manure. And you often see large amounts of dead organic matter in the form of decaying plants and sometimes dead animals on the ground. You find that they disappear after some time. This is because the microorganisms decompose dead organic waste of plants and animals, converting them into simple substances. These substances are again used by other plants and animals. Thus, microorganisms can be used to degrade the harmful and smelly substances and thereby clean up the environment. Next, let's see harmful microorganisms. Harmful microorganisms. Microorganisms are harmful in many ways. Some of the microorganisms cause disease in human beings, plants and animals. Such disease-causing microorganisms are called pathogens. So pathogens are nothing, they are disease-causing microorganisms. Some microorganisms spoil food, clothing and leather. Let us study more about their harmful activities. Disease-causing microorganisms in humans, let's see. Pathogens enter our body through the air we breathe. the water we drink, or the food we eat. They can also get transmitted by direct contact with an infected person or carried by an animal. Microbial diseases that can spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, or physical contact are called communicable diseases. Examples of such diseases include cholera, common cold, chickenpox, and tuberculosis. So these are the communicable diseases. Even they can transmit from one person to another through air, water, food, or physical contact. When a person suffering from common cold sneezes fine droplets of moisture carrying thousands of viruses are spread in the air. The virus may enter the body of a healthy person while breathing and cause infection. Here. Then how do you prevent the spread of communicable disease? Yes, one question is there. We can prevent the spread of communicable disease by some methods. So, if a person suffering from common cold or sneeze, we have to avoid direct contact of such affected persons. Next, let's see. We should keep a handkerchief on the nose and the mouth while sneezing. It is better to keep a distance from infected person. This is the correct point. We have to away from the infected person, and even we are better to use handkerchief or even the masks, face masks, not to inhale the droplets that are coming from sneezing from the infected person. Here, let's see. There are some insects and animals which act as carriers of disease causing microbes. Housefly is one such carrier. The flies sit on the garbage and animal excreta. Pathogens stick to their bodies. When these flies sit on uncovered food, they may transfer the pathogens. However, the contaminated food is likely to get sick. So, some of the insects, they are known as carriers of the disease. Such carriers are housefly is one very common, and even mosquito also one carrier of the disease that is called malaria. So it is advisable to always keep food covered. Avoid consuming uncovered items of food. Another example of a carrier is the female Anopheles mosquito. It is also mentioned here in figure number 2.8. Female Anopheles mosquito is shown here, which carries the parasite of malaria, that is Plasmodium. Female Aedes mosquito acts as carrier of dengue virus. How can we control the spread of malaria or dengue? So at the time of sleeping, we have to use mosquito net in order to protect from the bite of the mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito is shown in this figure 2.8. Why does the teacher keep telling us not to let water collect anywhere in the neighborhood? So we should not keep water, stagnant water, in our surrounding. In the stagnant water, some of the disease carriers like say mosquito, even they lay eggs and their reproduction is fast. If we avoid keeping stagnant water in our surrounding, then prevention of the reproduction of the mosquitoes can be done. Let's see. All mosquitoes breathe in water. Hence, one should not let water collect anywhere in coolers, tires, flower pot, etc. By keeping the surroundings clean and dry, we can prevent mosquitoes from breeding. Try to make a list of measures which help to avoid the spread of malaria. Here in textbook page number 24, let's see table 2.1. Some common human diseases caused by microorganisms. Human disease: tuberculosis, measles, chickenpox, polio. Causative microorganisms are here, say bacteria. It is caused by TB, and mode of transmission is air. Preventive measures in general: keep the patient in complete isolation. Keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of the others. Vaccination to be given at suitable age. Here, measles also, it is causative microorganism is virus, and mode of transmission is air, and preventive measures is same. Chickenpox caused by virus, and mode of transmission is air or direct contact. And polio also, causative microorganism is virus, mode of transmission is air or water, and preventive measure is same. Here, for cholera and typhoid, causative microorganism for cholera is bacteria, and mode of transmission is water or food. And for typhoid, it is caused by bacteria, same. And for mode of transmission is water. Preventive measure: maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. Consume properly cooked food and boil drinking water. Vaccination. Hepatitis A also. Here, causative microorganism is virus. Mode of transmission is water. Preventive measures: drink boiled drinking water and vaccination. Malaria, causative microorganism is protozoa. Mode of transmission is mosquito. So use mosquito net and repellents, spray insecticides, and control spreading of mosquitoes by not allowing water to collect in the surroundings. So these are the preventive measures. Some of the common diseases affecting humans, their mode of transmission, and few general methods of prevention are shown in table 2.1. Let's see. Disease causing microorganisms in animals. Several microorganisms not only cause diseases in humans and plants, but also in other animals. For example, anthrax is a dangerous human and cattle disease caused by bacterium. Foot and mouth disease of cattle is caused by a virus. And disease causing microorganisms in plants. Here, Robert Koch in 1876 discovered the bacterium Bacillus anthracis, which causes anthrax disease. Robert Koch in 1876 who discovered bacterium that is Bacillus anthracis, which causes anthrax disease. Here, disease causing microorganisms in plants. Let's see. Several microorganisms cause diseases in plants like wheat, rice, potato, sugarcane, orange, apple, and others. The diseases reduce the yield of crops. See table 2.2 for some such plant diseases. They can be controlled by the use of certain chemicals which kill the microbes. Here, table 2.2, some common plant diseases caused by microorganisms are shown. Plant disease: citrus canker, and causative microorganism is bacteria, and mode of transmission is air. Rust of wheat, microorganism is fungi, causing microorganism, and mode of transmission is air and seeds. Plant disease: yellow vein mosaic of bindi, that means okra. Causative microorganism is virus, and mode of transmission is insect. Food poisoning. Let's see. Buzo was invited by his friend to a party and he ate a variety of foodstuff. On reaching home, he started vomiting and had to be taken to a hospital. The doctor said that this condition could be due to food poisoning. Buzo was invited by his friend to a party and ate variety of foodstuffs. Then on reaching home, he started vomiting. This is when he had to be taken to a hospital. Then the doctor said this condition could be due to food poisoning. So food poisoning, what is food poisoning? Let's see. Pahle wonders how food can become a poison. Let's see. Food poisoning could be due to the consumption of food spoiled by some microorganisms. Microorganisms that grow on our food sometimes produce toxic substances. This makes the food poisonous, causing serious illness and even death. So it is very important that we preserve food to prevent it from being spoiled. Food preservation. In chapter number 1, we have learned about the methods used to preserve and store food like grains. How do we preserve cooked food at home? You know that bread left unused under moist conditions is attacked by fungus. Microorganisms spoil our food. A spoiled food emits bad smell and has a bad taste and changes colors. Is spoiling of food a chemical reaction? Let's see. Violet bought some mangoes, but she could not eat them for a few days. Later, she found that they were spoiled and rotten, but she knows that the mango pickle her grandmother makes does not spoil for a long time. She is confused. Next page, let's see. Let us study the common methods of preserving food in our homes. We have to save it from the attack of microorganisms. So, the chemical method. Let's see first. Salts and edible oils are the common chemicals generally used to check the growth of microorganisms. Therefore, they are called preservatives. So common preservatives are salts and edible oils. We add salt or acid preservatives to pickles to prevent the attack of microbes. Sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite are common preservatives. These are the preservatives. These are also used in jams and squash to check their spoilage. So with that, it comes to the end of this video class. In the next video class, let's continue. For today, let's stop here. Bye.